What's going on, everybody? American Football Network here with another video today. And today we're bringing you guys another one of these videos and where will Kyle McCord end up. But before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe, comment those thoughts and opinions down below. Let me reach that goal of 1,150 subs by the end of December. Check out the description for links to our shop, podcast, website, Patreon page, and our college football roundup channel. But let's go ahead and jump into today's video and get started. So, Kyle McCord is the transfer quarterback out of Ohio State, former five-star guy. Um, you look at what he did this season, he was a very solid quarterback for him, but it seems as if they're looking to move on from Kyle McCord and go to Devin Brown. But McCord didn't have a bad season. He was played in all 12 games, was 229 of 348 for 65.8 completion percentage, 3,170 yards, 9.1 yards an attempt, with 24 touchdowns to 6 interceptions and a quarterback rating of 161.6. So this guy has been, um, he's been a very good quarterback for Ohio State this year. He's not quite as mobile as not quite as mobile as Devin Brown is, and so that's been the big thing for him. Is just is he going to be able to really move around. If you don't have a good offensive line around, it may not be your best fit. But we're looking at today, where is he going to end up? And I've got two schools in my mind right now where I think he could end up. Number one being Syracuse. I think that he would pair well with Fran Brown, going there as a new head coach of the Orange. I think there's not a whole lot of pressure that's going to be involved with that. I think that's one thing that he may like over, compared to Ohio State, where if you don't win the college football playoff, it's a failed season. So I think that the not having the huge spotlight and the pressure at Ohio State or at Syracuse like he had at Ohio State could be very appealing. Syracuse is also a team that recruited him back before he was committed to Ohio State. They offered him a scholarship, I believe, in like 2018. So that I mean, Syracuse, was one of the first teams to really start recruiting him. That's another thing. He's also from kind of the East Coast, from Pennsylvania, from Philly. Yeah, grew up in Philadelphia, so this is potentially a good fit for him. Another team I was looking at for him, potentially landing him and where he could end up going, is a team like Rutgers. I think that he's still going to be in the Big Ten, going to be more of a play style that I feel like fits his kind of play under Greg Schiano. So I think that Rutgers could really be a good spot for him, staying in the Big Ten as well. I mean, he's going to have to face Ohio State if he does, and Michigan and Penn State. So I'm not sure if he wants to go face a team like that, because that was the other thing that I think is also more appealing about Syracuse is the ACC is much more of a winnable conference if you go to a place like Syracuse and then go into a place like Rutgers trying to win the Big Ten. So I think that is a spot that could really be a good fit for him. Obviously, Nebraska isn't really in the mix for him anymore now with them. I really thought that's where he was going to go until there was news that Nebraska was now going to be getting Dylan Raiola potentially from Georgia. So I don't think that that's really somewhere that he wants to go anymore with that. And maybe some of these other teams like Iowa or something, but I just don't really see them. I was thinking maybe in Indiana, but then they got Curtis Rourke from Ohio, the transfer. So I really think that number one and number two is probably Syracuse and Rutgers. I would love to see him at Syracuse. I think that would be a good fit. I think Rutgers would also be a good fit. I just feel like Syracuse would probably be a little bit more appealing. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on where I think Kyle McCord goes. If you guys have any thoughts, put those down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we will see you next.